What up, Internet? It's your boy JG. Brian Matthews
Hello.
is also there. You seen any delay, B Matt?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I had a feeling you did.
On my end, at least. It may not be in the regular folks out there.
Yeah. Well, damn. That kind of stinks. We'll be back. Hey now, what up, Internet? We're back this time for real. I think it's working. What up, B Matt?
What up?
You're now bathing.
Top of the morning to you.
You're now bathing.
Lovely Monday.
LFC's Super Cup greatness.
Mm.
And I'm a Byron Cowart fan, as I have been all along.
6 points out of 6, JG. All we got to do is win the next 20. Oh, no, wait. 30? Wait, I don't know. 36 straight, I think.
36.
We got this thing.
All right, things we need to discuss today. Fall camp has ended.
Yep, heard that. Yep.
You know that.
Yep.
There's still no official decision at the quarterback because, guess, we need to make sure we got all the data. We go through there and we don't miss anything.
And Gus said he's got a list of who all we picked early, and he's going to hold us to it.
Well, yeah, it's an easy list because it's all the same person. He said we can't change. I don't know if he holds himself to that same.
Yeah,
standard.
that's right. When he's changing quarterbacks like 3 times in the first game, we'll be like, excuse me, Mr. Gus Malzahn, you said we weren't allowed to change.
Yeah, well, that's what I told you was different. Interesting that Seth, Matthew Hill, Canella, and J.J. Wilson were running with the first team the other day. I know they've been playing around with that a little bit. Some dudes might be held out for reasons that we don't, just because they know what they can do, or, Wee Willie's case, or in Eli's case, it's just to make sure their knees are good. But that's an interesting first team. And then you had the bunker went on meltdown when you mentioned that Sal Canella had a second catch the other day.
It's pretty good, man. Touchdown, Sal. JG, Sal only catches touchdowns.
That's.
I mean, the other passes don't really matter that much, JG. It's the touchdowns that matter.
He drops the other ones. Okay, so drops are still a problem. Gus said yesterday that Papo will be, quote, a major contributor.
Maybe a starter. Maybe.
Could be a starter. At the MAC or the money, I asked Kevin the other day where Papo's playing, and he kind of looked at me like I was an idiot. He's like, well, MAC and money.
See, I talked to Travis about that, and he said he's using Papo mostly just at one position right now, money. So.
All right. Gus mentioned that there were several guys on both sides of the ball. I think he said 4 or 5 on each side that have stepped up. You asked who the young guys were, and he gave you the next presser.
Well, I need 24, 48 more hours, Rick. I'll come up. You ask me that again, I'll go give you an answer.
Yeah. I'll be surprised if you get an answer, but I'm looking forward to the challenge. And then Byron Cowart with a big sack for the Patriots last night. Oh, it was 2 nights
ago. Big Byron.
Yeah, no doubt.
Do you have your Cowart Patriots jersey yet?
Hell yeah.
You ordered it? Good. Mine will be here Wednesday, so I'm good to go.
I could never wear a Patriots jersey.
That's true.
I mean,
I would die. I would drop dead in my tracks if I wore a Patriots jersey. But you got a Boston Red Sox hat on, so I mean, what's the difference?
I don't have a problem with Boston. I have a problem with the Patriots. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of Tom Brady. I'm tired of all that shit. Well, it looks like Stidham's ready to take over. Mm-hmm.
Dang right he is.
In '93, I was like getting on the Patriots bandwagon because they were shitty, and Bill Parcells came over there, and I was like, I like Parcells, and they're going to be not shitty anymore, and then they just got too big.
You need to get with the Dirty Birds, JG. They're going to fly high this season.
I mean, it's tough to find an NFL franchise where the fans have been just absolutely screwed, worse than the Falcons. Like, several times.
Cleveland Browns.
No, the Browns are shittier. I'm not arguing that. I'm saying you get these crescendos, and they always fail you. Like, remember back in the early 90s when they had Dion, and they were getting really, really good, and it was like, oh, dude, this team's going to dominate, and then they just shit the bed.
Well, they made it to the Super Bowl, and then like one of their top players got in trouble the night before. I forget who beat them in that Super Bowl, but they got their butts beat.
And then, obviously, they're up a bunch in this other Super Bowl recently and choked that away. I mean, it's just choke city, man.
It's a Tom Brady of all people. That's just disgusting.
It's just It's dehumanizing.
Makes me want to puke.
All right, so we'll go through that. You said you got a shout out, and you also have something to lead in with. Is that right?
Well, I mean, once we get going, yeah.
Okay. There was a thread. Actually, it was Nate's Intel thread from the other day on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
It was an absolute goldmine for great posts. I think that I gave 8 shout outs for that one thread.
Whoa, I need to go back and look at this thread.
Oh yeah, I mean the OP is not necessarily all that great because it's just the intel, but all the responses to that, and some of that was on you because you were playing up the whole, hey,
I did have some fun in there.
Yeah. And you got people all rustled. I don't know why people get so rustled by you. I think it's just because you're the straight guy, and so when you say stuff, they take it as gospel. I don't know, something like that. All right, you think we can make 30 minutes out of that, B-Matt, or whatever it is?
Oh, yeah, we can do it. I like to poke the bear a little bit. I'm not a straight guy all the time.
I know you're not. But, me and Jay Lee cut up so much, and then, you're the straight guy of those two. Plus Nate. I mean, Nate's the straightest of the whole group. But, Nate's an intern. Doing a hell of a job, though.
I bet Nate has a wild side. I bet he goes out to Sky Bar and just loses his mind.
I don't think so.
No?
No. I mean, he was a band guy. Did you know he's a band guy in a past life?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, at Auburn.
Oh, okay. Good.
Okay. I mean, I'm not denigrating band folks. I'm just saying because we have several on the bunker, including number 19 is a band enthusiast. One of the really good guys. But
one of the greatest GIFs of all time.
Yes. Just waving bye-bye to some Florida pitcher. He's something else. He and his wife together.
Yeah, it was fun when Auburn softball was good, wasn't it?
Oh, I remember those 2 years.
Yeah, it's a heck of a run, man.
Come back, Clint. No, I think Mickey might get there. I don't know. Let's see. All right, here we go. Hi-yo! Hello again, and welcome to the AuburnSports.com rundown presented by Voodoo Wing Company. This right here, this very show is your favorite podcast for all things Auburn. Today is August 19th in the year of 2019. We would call that 8/19/19, as I mentioned to my co-host earlier today. It's a kind of a cool date, I think.
Better than 6606, that's for sure.
There's no doubt about that. August 19th, it's a Monday morning, and we are currently 12 days away from Brian's trip to Dallas to cover the Oregon-Auburn football game to be contested in Jerry's World, or Jerry World, or however you want to look at it. That'll be on the ABC, I believe. My name is Jay Tate. I am publisher of AuburnSports.com, and I'm joined, as always, by Mr. Brian Matthews, capital B, capital M, our East team reporter, and a man who everyone from Dallas to Shreveport, Louisiana knows is a doer of many things. What up, B-Matt?
Shreveport's a great place to put a bowl game, Just thinking about that the other day. But, Jay, I'm really hoping that Jeffrey's listening this morning.
Jay Lee, yes.
Because I saw this thing on Twitter from AU Campus Safety. It said, reminder, Alabama Power will have a low-flying helicopter inspecting transmission lines over campus and surrounding areas today.
Uh-oh.
And I'm worried he's going to hear that helicopter and come out shooting. You know how Jeffrey is.
Yeah, he got really weirded out.
He's a man of action, so...
He got weirded out by a black helicopter like 6 months ago or something like that. And he was legitimately concerned about who was piloting that copter and why. So, Jay Lee.
So any of his neighbors are listening, maybe you need to knock on his door and just, calm him down a little bit, or just keep your eye out for him.
Welfare check. Hey, seriously, though, you need to text him. I mean, he needs to know that. Because I don't know if he's going to be listening to the show or watching it. Certainly not watching it live. All right. Before we get started, we do have some news to discuss. We're going to talk about the fact that Voodoo Wing Company supports everything we do here at AuburnSports.com, including, most specifically, the Rundown, both our podcast and our video show, which we are allegedly on YouTube today. I am not able to check because I am an idiot, but I believe we are out there in the internet world. Voodoo Wing Company is definitely out there in the eating world. We know that because we've been there many, many times, Brian and I, Mr. Jeffrey Lee, Ben Wolk when he was with us before he went over to Georgia, and now Nathan King, our intern. Everybody knows. Hell, Allie even knows that the best chicken in town is at Voodoo Wing Company. You can get the wings. You can get the boneless. They come with a Sidewinder fries if you choose. You can also get the fried pickles, the potato salad, and then you can finish it off with some nanner pudding that B-Matt loves so much, or the key lime pie that I like so much. They have a lot of sauces. I think about 8 of their sauces are made in-house. You cannot find them anywhere else. including the blackened Cajun ranch that I myself am addicted to, and the voodoo sauce that BMAT cherishes daily. If you haven't been there, you need to go. Seriously, the food is delicious. The place is spick and span every single time, and the counter staff will blow your mind with how easy they can make things. There's none of that, I don't know how to do this. You'll never hear that. These folks know what's up, and they've been trained by a former naval firefighter who demands perfection and gets perfection. Voodoo Wing Company on College Street, 0.3 of a mile north of the interstate, just north of where the Supper Club once stood, and where Jeffrey Lee was once thrown into a garbage can, and he damn well deserved it. Check them out on the website at voodoowingco.com. Brian Matthews, fall camp has ended. Your thoughts? How's that for
I'm glad it's over,
transition?
JG. Sorry, I was getting text at the same time. My thoughts. Well, it's good Auburn came out of it relatively injury-free.
Mm-hmm.
We had some scares there with Seth and Prince, but everything's okay, folks. It's all right. And
is that true?
I think we're to the point now where the most important decision is about to be made here shortly, and that's choosing the starting quarterback, who I feel strongly will be Bo Nix.
Are you sure that Prince Tega is really healthy?
I mean, I think he may be a little sore and banged up, but he's practicing and doing everything, so it's not serious enough to hold him out.
Yeah. Okay. We know he's got a huge brace on his left knee. We know it's been a source of consternation, both for him and for others. But we had a lot of eyes in that practice/scrimmage the other day, and they said Prince Tega was doing his work. And he was hanging on with the rushers from the outside, and he was showing enough lateral agility to make it work. I don't think he's going to be 100%. But Prince Tega at 80% or whatever he is probably going to be better than their next option, which at this point is probably Bailey Sharp, B-Matt.
Yeah, or you put Jack Driscoll over there and play Bailey at right tackle.
Gotcha.
But we'll see.
As you alluded to earlier, still no official decision at quarterback. When we were talking to Gus after the press conference, he was just kind of saying that, it was a big decision now. We want to go through and make sure we get everything just right. Meaning that he's still evaluating, that he and Dillingham and presumably Cody or whoever else are going through all the video, all the cut-ups, to make sure that Bo is the right decision. But I think you've got to be careful with Joey, because Joey is going to be an important part of this team going forward, even if he's not the number one quarterback, because he brings something to the table, B-Matt, that they've got to have.
Yeah, and that's a dual-threat quarterback, a guy who can put pressure on a defense because he can run the ball, and I do think they're going to find a way to use him. And, even if Bo Nix is named the starter, that doesn't mean he's the starter for game 2 or game 4. I think there's still a lot of things that need to happen in those first month of the season to see how it all works out. I just he's not going to name Bo Nix a starter and it's over. Those guys got to go out there and perform.
Mm-hmm. I do want to say that I think that Bo Nix is a dual threat quarterback. I mean, I know that his go-to is his arm, whereas Joey's go-to is probably his size. So it's different there. But I think Bo Nix can run the football, and I think Bo Nix is going to run the football. And I don't think he's going to rush for 1,000 yards, but I wouldn't be surprised if he is the starter the whole way through that he rushes for 500, 600, 700 yards, something like that. I mean, I think he can do that.
Yeah, that would be great.
I mean, he did that in high school. I mean, it's not like we're coming up with something new here. I mean, asking him to do something he's never done before, that's what he is. That's what he does. I just think Joey's such a bigger dude, and he pushes the pile more on 3rd and 2. That's not going to be Bo, but I still think he's going to run. Let's talk a little bit about the receivers, B-Matt. The first crew going out in that practice/scrimmage the other day was Seth. Not surprised by that. Matthew Hill. Not surprised by that considering what's going on right now. And then you got Sal Cannella and J.J. Wilson. Do you think that's going to be the group, the first group to face Oregon?
I do not. I think Eli and Will are going to be out there. I think they've been sort of slowly getting them ready, and I think they will be ready by game time. So I'd be really surprised if I would not be surprised to see JJ out there. I think he's had a really good camp, and I think he's a weapon they want to use in some different ways. But, I think Seth and Eli and Will are your top 3 receivers on the team right now, and I think they're going to be out there.
Well, they better catch the ball, because that's been a recurring theme here, B-Matt, is that the receivers are not catching the ball outside of Seth.
Right. Well, I think Eli and Will are fine. I think they sit on the sidelines, watch the other receivers drop balls, and then have to run sprints with them.
Well, that's not helping, though.
No, it's not. But
no, it's not. Not at all. Sal Cannella, for what it's worth, had a touchdown catch in the situational scrimmage the other day, had another catch that was described by all of our sources as pretty damn good, which means that's 2 catches in one game, in one event for Sal Cannella. And as B-Matt noted in the intel thread, that's a big deal. That's unusual.
Just making a little joke there, but Sal does have that ability to make those type of catches.
Of course he does.
We saw it against Washington. He made a great catch for that touchdown. I just think he loses his concentration on the easy one sometimes.
Yeah.
He tries to think ahead. I'm gonna, make this move or do this, and he just doesn't focus. So if he can just calm down and focus, he can help Auburn this season.
I have a theory about Uncle Sal that if he had regular hair, like short hair, just like Wee Willie or whoever, like people wouldn't rag on him as much.
Oh, I think you're probably right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
If you're going to wear your hair like that, you've got to be good to justify it almost. Because, no, has Sal been a huge boon to the offense since he arrived at Auburn? No, of course not. But I don't know if he's like a miserable failure either. I just don't know. They've used him a little bit. He's dropped too many passes, as you've noted. Maybe now he's improving. It could happen. J.J. Wilson is probably the story of camp as far as up-and-comer. I mean, I think they signed him to be a stopgap option at H, and this kid has blown folks away with the things he can do. I think he's been an above-average ball carrier, not that Auburn needs that right now. He's been a firm blocker. I have been told by more than one person, including some players, that he has the best hands on the team, including Seth Williams. That he caught every single pass thrown at him until he dropped one in the second scrimmage that I don't even think would have been categorized as a drop. So he's going to do something this year. I think it's going to be a big part of what they do on offense. It's going to shock people. They're going to say, who the hell is that?
Yeah, I agree with you, but I just wonder, they've got him as your secret weapon. You got Harold Joyner as a secret weapon.
Oh, yeah.
You got all these running backs. You got receivers. I mean, I guess Auburn's going to average around 50-something points a game and run hurry up and have about 70 or 80 plays on offense, right? That's how it's going to be?
Of course.
Of course.
Somebody on the bunker was asking, Gus has been telling me specifically, because I've been riding his ass about it, that are you actually going to operate at fast pace? And, someone on the bunker was like, is he going to actually do this? And I don't know how to answer that. But,
well, I mean, you've got to be Missouri on that, right? But I do believe yes. I believe the answer is yes.
You do think they're going to run, let's say, 70 to 85 plays a game?
Try to, as long as they've got that pivot guy, that tight end or H-back that can do it. And I think they do. I think they got 2 guys. I think JJ and Schenker, I think, is ready now to contribute more, to be a 3-down type player.
Yeah, agreed. It's going to be interesting to see how those guys work out, but I think Schenker and J.J. Wilson can really help them. It's weird because, J.J. was just some dude they added. Wasn't sure what they had there. Schenker was definitely a late add that recruiting cycle. And now it's like, Schenker's a big dude, man. He has that big boy look about him. And one thing I asked Gus about last night was Owen Papo. Some of you may remember him. He's a 5-star linebacker, probably the crown jewel of the most recent signing class. And I asked him, is Papo ready, to have a big role this year? And he said, quote, Papo, quote, will be a major contributor this year. That's big news to me. I mean, Auburn's had a bunch of really good linebackers through the years, some elite ones. And I don't know as though Auburn's had a freshman starter at linebacker before. If it happened, it's been a while. Your thoughts just on Papo, what our expectations should be for him, B-Matt?
I think he's the next great Auburn linebacker. And I think he's going to end up starting at some point this season. I feel strongly this guy's a special player. He probably won't start against Oregon, but he's going to play a lot. And I think between him and KJ and Chandler and Zacoby, those are the 4 linebackers you're going to see on the field 99% of the time.
Yeah. Most of the time they run a 2-linebacker set. They call it the Mac and the Money. And we know that Papo spends most of his time at the Mac position. But Kevin Steele said that he can play both, although T-Will has suggested to you the other day it was more about Mac, right?
Yeah, and they've been playing KJ and Chandler Wooten at Money.
All right.
And those guys have been getting almost all the reps there. So I think he wants Chandler to be versatile enough to play both and play both really well in case somebody gets banged up.
To look at Papo, you wouldn't think he's going to be a skull crusher. I mean, he's not a hulking beast the way that Takeo was years ago. I think he has a body type that's more like Carlos Dansby. I don't know. He doesn't look exactly like Carlos, but kind of that thin Rayleigh strength. And I'm very interested to see what he can do this year. Because, I mean, it's there's years BMAT has been covering this as long as I have as far as camp. And every year there's like these camp heroes that are going to end up being awesome or whatever. But it's this quiet, like everybody's like trying to keep Papo quiet in a way. And that makes me think they really do think he's going to be good, you know?
Yeah.
We were asked Kevin about him the other day, and Kevin's like, I don't really want to get into this. Because he just doesn't want to talk about it, you know?
And I think Jacob McClain is another guy that's going to be really good for Auburn, too.
He's super quick, man. He's just a harasser, you know? He's like, if you soccer fans know Kante that plays for Chelsea, like a little dude that just goes around hitting people all day. I think Jacoby can do that for him. T-Will's got himself a room, man. He's got some players. I know a lot of folks are going to go into the season saying, God, man, no Deshaun. How are we going to do this? I think they've got a lot of talent.
Yeah, and KJ Britt is a guy who is the next Deshaun. So much like him. Maybe not the personality type that Deshaun is, but definitely the committed, wants to be a great football player, knows the defense, knows the offense, that type of guy is KJ Britt, another real physical guy inside the box, too.
Yeah, KJ personality-wise reminds me more of Noza Igwe, where Deshaun was almost kind of like a bellowing presence, you know. KJ's more quiet, and he's more thought-provoking, I think, the way Noza was. And not saying it's a bad thing at all. It's just a slightly different version of leadership. But, you know, you might need a different version with Papo. I mean, it's a younger group now. Interesting thing, Gus said yesterday that there were 4 or 5 guys on each side of the ball, young guys, that have stepped up and made themselves known to the point where they're going to be part of the game plan this season.
And JJ, he named, which ones did he name?
Well, we haven't. He didn't want to get into that just yet. Brian followed up on that answer to say, hey, can you actually tell me who these guys are who are stepping up? And what did he tell you, B-Matt?
Well, I'll have to get back to you here in another 24, 48 hours once I have a chance to look at things some more.
That's exactly what he said. He said he didn't want to misspeak. He wanted to go back and make sure he's giving you the right information. So I guess he's going to be watching a lot of tape here. It doesn't necessarily just come to mind who it might be, B-Matt. If you had to guess, though, I mean, Papo is a young guy who's definitely stepped up. Keandre Jones is a young guy who's definitely stepped up. I don't know if he's going to figure in right now just because of the way the offensive line is, but I think he's a kid who's shown his worth. Matthew Hill's a freshman.
Some other guys, I think, defensively, you got to look at the defensive backs. You got a few of them that are running second team right now. Nehemiah Pritchett is your number 2 cornerback. Or actually, he's one of the backup cornerbacks along with Roger McCreary. So I guess he's probably the fourth corner out of 4.
Right.
But he's passed over some veterans to get there, which I think is really big for him. And Zion Puckett is your backup nickel and dime. So that's 2 true freshmen. I think they're going to play a lot for Auburn this upcoming season. And that is a position where Auburn's not as deep as it needs to be, cornerback and nickel. So you hope that JD and Noah and Christian Tupp stay healthy for most of the season.
Yeah, so Tut's going to be your nickel. He's a ready-made nickel. He's perfect for that position, although he's young. If he goes down in a game, I bet you JD ends up being the nickel, and they move McCreary into that spot where JD was, is what I would think.
I think so. Yeah, that's what I think they'll do, most likely.
Yeah.
I think Roger McCreary, if any of the 3 go down, he's the next guy up because they consider him a 4th starter, so to speak, or a 3rd starter, however you want to put it.
Yeah.
And the other guy on defense, I would say, would be Jaron Handy, defensive end. I think he's going to play, be a backup, get some experience, and potentially be a starter next year.
So there you go. Without even looking at the tape, we got 4 or 5 right there. Gus
Offense.
Gus will take a look.
Bo Nix, yeah.
You'd say.
For sure.
You'd say Bo and Joey are both
DJ Williams is certainly going to play. I guess he's still considered Harold Joyner a newcomer, right?
Yeah, but you alluded to this earlier, but there is a ceiling for how many tailbacks are going to be able to play here. I mean, come on now.
That's absolutely true.
Because Malik's in there too.
They can't all be good. I mean, you got Sean Shivers in there too. So we'll see. We'll see about that. And I don't really see a freshman receiver playing much this year.
Matthew Hill's a redshirt.
Redshirt freshman, yeah. Definitely Matthew Hill as a redshirt. Absolutely. 100%. And then the offensive linemen, the young guys, I think JB likes all 3 of the freshmen a lot, but they're going to redshirt the first year.
All right. Look at that. No video, and you pulled 8 to 10 names right out, B-Man. That's why you're the professor, bro. That's why you're capital B, capital M, a man who everyone from Shreveport all the way to Dallas knows is a doer of many things. That's the reason. Moving off script just a little bit. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Byron Cowart had himself a play the other day. He is with the Patriots right now, striving, scratching to make that club. And I had a big boy sack the other day. Big bull rush, knocked somebody on their ass. Went in there and savaged the quarterback. Reminding us all of what could have been with Byron Cowart, B-Matt. I think at the time when he left, it was very easy to kind of put the blame at Rodney Garner's feet because we all know Rodney's an aggressive guy.
Yep.
And Byron did not mesh with that as well, maybe as some. But here, now that we've had a few years, B-Matt, how do you kind of assess that whole situation?
Well, I think Byron, I think there's three reasons Byron did not achieve success at Auburn. I think number one, he was a little overrated talent-wise. Number two, he was immature. And number three, he just didn't respond well to Rodney's style of coaching. They just weren't a good fit, you know? And that's really on Rodney for taking him, but although this is really a Will Muschamp guy. But he's grown up a little bit. He's moved inside a defensive tackle where he fits better. I just think, good for him.
B-Matt, come on, man. Don't lay that on Will Muschamp. He was the number one player in the country.
Yeah, Rivals screwed the pooch on that one. Whoops.
He was a great camp player. But that's the lesson I learned from that. I mean, being
but
a great
I'm happy
camp
for Byron. I don't think Byron was a bad dude, ever a bad dude.
Never.
And he really tried hard to achieve here at Auburn. He really did.
He did. I agree completely. I think the negative things you hear about Byron when he was at Auburn are a function of that anxiety associated with coming in as a 5-star guy, expecting to do a lot, not doing a lot, and every single day at practice feeling like he's got the world of expectations on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And he got panicky about it. I can understand that completely. It's a lot to deal with.
Yep. And guys mature and grow up at different speeds, different levels, and you don't have to go to a big school and succeed there and to get yourself to the NFL or to have success in the future. You can go a lot of different paths.
Yeah. Agreed. I feel like everybody I know is pulling for Byron Cowart. Even when they left, we were just kind of like, God, I hate that for him. You know, like it wasn't like, get him out of here. He's a cancer. Like people didn't say that. Only on the bunker, but in real life, the people who actually knew him were just kind of sorrowful about it because he, like you said, he was really trying. He was just held back by a lot of the expectations. Some of them legit, some of them not. I mean, should he have been the number one player in the entire class? I mean, well, you'd say probably not. I understand where Farrell was coming from on that. Mike Farrell, our national director of scouting, because I watched him. You watched him too in Baltimore back then, and he was an absolutely dominating force in the camp. But it's a camp. It's not 7 on 7.
That was the year that I think there were 6 or 7 guys that could have been number one overall. They just didn't have a clear guy, and that's the guy they ended up picking.
Yeah, he was great at interviews too. That helps. All right, moving on. What else we got? We'll talk about basketball next time. We had an opportunity to do some basketball chatter, but we'll pick that up next time. We're trying to wait a little bit longer on that one. Just it's still football season and stuff. Shout outs, B-Man. I know you've got one. What do you got?
I do. I put up my little Monday Musings story this morning.
Elvis, man. Elvis.
Yep. Hornswoggle replied to it. And he said, obviously a big Elvis fan. I really a fan of good music. You can tell Hornswoggle is a guy with great taste.
Uh-huh.
I really never thought the world would see another talent like Elvis. And lo and behold, Chris Daughtry comes around and proves me wrong.
He's the next Elvis. First time ever that's been described.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got your, for folks who are here listening to the show or watching the show and you haven't checked out the website, B-Matt's got his Monday Musings up today. And he finishes off with a little Elvis in there, who died in 1977. Is it on today?
It was a few days ago.
Okay. So
tried to hit something within, a few days plus or minus. So
mid-August.
It was August 16th, 1977.
Yeah. He was the first musician to play Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky.
How about that?
And will always be.
Played Beard Eves.
Wow. There were some, back in the day, there were some really good shows in Beard Eves.
Elton John was there. Yep.
The Rolling Stones, Hall & Oates.
Yep.
Come on, man. Hall of Famers.
Sarah Smile, JG.
Sarah Smile. Mark Murphy, who writes for one of the other sites, claims to have been at a lot of those shows.
I believe that.
Yeah, well, I was skeptical until I asked him to describe them, and I did it slyly as to not like be questioning his credentials, but just to try to find out what was going on. And he described them with such intricacy that I believe he was there. It's just, Mark, sometimes you see an older person and you're like, nah, that dude wasn't partying in the day, but I think he was, maybe. If you're listening, Mark, I'm sorry I doubted you. Oh, and also Sarah Smile. Great song. I do have some shout outs. There was one thread. This might have been the most shout out worthy thread ever. There was so much going on in this thread, and that's kind of how the bunker works. We start in one direction and it just goes everywhere. On the intel report, so basically they had the half scrimmage the other day, and I was talking to some people about what was going on. BMAT was talking to some people, and so was Nate. And then Nate was aggregating all that information. He put it in the thread. It was called Intel Stadium Practice 8.17. In that intel, Nate mentioned that there was a group of players who weren't practicing, and one of them was OC Brothers, who is a linebacker who signed with Auburn recently. Sofa King Jabba says, what the hell is an OC Brothers? Tugmac says, a young man who could knock your dick in the dirt. You should go meet him. And we're off. This is like the fourth or fifth post of the whole thread. Sofa King Jabba says, highly doubtful he could knock me in the dirt. Guess he's one of the many Plan B recruiting losses, huh? The type that will never play a meaningful snap at AU. This is a true freshman linebacker. And Sofa King is already saying he's a Plan B recruiting loss. I mean, my goodness. Harley Tiger says, hey, I have an idea. You guys could line up and we could find out for sure. I'd pay $100 to see it. And I was checking this out. Harley Tiger's been with us a long time. I think 12 years officially, probably longer. And he has 40 posts. So this was a moment that he just felt like it was time to pipe up. And I don't know if I would pay $100 to see that, but I would pay $20, I think, just to see if OC Brothers, Octavius Brothers could whoop his ass. I bet he would.
So, it would be like one of the Mike Tyson fights back in the day. Ding, boop, over.
Sofa King Jabba comes back and says, I don't get out of bed for less than a dime. Also, I'm 34 years old. My time of knocking a kid's ass in the dirt on the field is long past. However, I still guarantee he wouldn't knock me in the dirt on a one-on-one drill. I'm 6'2", 245, and I'm in pretty solid shape, so I'm betting that wouldn't happen. But do continue your assumptions about someone you've never met. It's fun. I do want to point this out. Now, somebody else did some of the legwork on this, and I should give them a shout out, but I forgot who it was. He says he's 34 years old, which means he was probably born in 1985. I know that's not necessarily deep sleuthing, but whatever. We had another poster who liked to talk a bunch of shit just like that, who put 85 at the end of his taglines or at the end of his handle. You may know him as Mutter. Carolina Mutter.
Heard of him.
Yeah. I think he's back as Sofa King Jabba, although he claims to not be that guy, but the styles are very similar. Anyway, Random Sidewalk Fan comes right in after that one with a GIF. Yes, Brian, I said it that way. Of Jimmy rustling. It's the our Jimmy's rustled at Stanley McRustler on that. That's exactly what you should have done, Random Sidewalk Fan. B Scott comes back. B Scott 22 says, I was hoping to hear some overreactions today. Looks like I found the right thread. Yes, scrimmage intel is going to be an overreaction thread for sure. One of Nate's intel lines said that, and this was absolutely beautiful. Nix and Joey are swapping one play apiece in third down drills. Joey just ran a fake Statue of Liberty play action, which resulted in a check down throw to Matthew Hill. Brent 4AU2 says, sweet Jesus, yes, inject this directly into my veins. How many times have we seen that? The fake Statue of Liberty play action that goes nowhere. Tubbs is my coach.
Especially when you fake it to both sides. That's my favorite part. I mean, it always works.
If you fake both sides, doesn't that mean you're not faking anybody?
I don't know, but I hope Bo runs down the first play. I really do. That should be the first play of the game by far.
There's going to be some doozy, like something. I don't know if it'll be that. Anyway, Tubbs is my coach, finishes that bad boy off and says, this thread is peak bunker. I agree completely. That's like 8 shout-outs in one thread, and I think I'm missing stuff too. So that was a beautiful thread. It's called Intel Stadium Practice 8.17 if you haven't seen it. One other thread I want to shout out. NCAU Tigers started a thread. Best 65-inch TV for the money. It's the largest size that will fit above my mantle in my den. Thanks in advance. First response, Alpha Tiger 08 says, have you thought about a bigger mantle? J Rob AU says, get a bigger house first. 65-inch TV is not big enough. I don't even own a 65-inch TV. I own a 55, and I feel like that's big enough. Like, jeez.
That's not what she said, JJ.
Yeah, I told Christy we're going to get an 85-inch if we win game. If we beat LSU. TVs can't get just too big, I think. Just my opinion. All right, so that's enough for the shout-outs. I do want to remind everybody, and I want to give a special shout-out to my man Vance Me, who helped us get up to 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel so we could do live videos. We are now at 1,500 subscribers, so we have overshot that by a long way. And I want to thank everyone listening for their support. I know everybody who's listening to this show jumped on YouTube and subscribed to our channel, and thank you very much for doing that. If you haven't checked it out, it's at youtube.com/Auburn Football Rivals. We've got all of our videos. We have uploaded 15 videos in the last 5 days, and Brian and I are like the video mavens there, but a lot of good stuff on there. I know we had an interesting interview yesterday with Aaron Sipos and KJ Britt, and Seth was there as well, and some really good stuff. So I don't know if I'd quantify Gus's really good stuff, but the player interviews were really good yesterday, so check them out there at YouTube on our YouTube channel. It's gotten really pretty, hasn't it, B-Matt?
It has. Seth was really good yesterday. I'm excited to see him play. He's going to be really exciting.
I was wondering if he'd be a good interview. He's a very cool dude. He's kind of an interesting personality. But I thought he interviewed well yesterday. Yeah.
And I don't think Aaron's very he's not too excited about the Bloomin' Onion.
No, we had to ask. But
yeah.
He's Australian, obviously. And we were like, hey, have you been to Outback? And he was like, yeah. He actually likes Outback, but he says the one thing that really sticks out there is the Bloomin' Onion because there is no such thing in Australia. It's a completely fictitious thing, which I don't know as though Outback even pretends to say that that's authentic Australian or whatever, but whatever. I do want to give a quick shout-out as we go here to our friends at Voodoo Wing Company. If you haven't been there, you need to go. It's delicious. We thank them very much for their support of what we do here. Our friends at Lynch Toyota of Auburn. Paul Brockwell is the best GM on the planet. We know this. There is this new Toyota Supra that has come out. It's been dormant for a long time. When I was a kid, the Supras were like the sweetest cars you could ever imagine.
One of my roommates had a Supra. It was badass.
You had the turbo version. You really had something there. Oh, they're back. Beginning with this model year. I don't think they have one at Lynch yet, but I bet you they will. And you should go by and check out the pictures of that and think about getting yourself one if you are a rich, because that car is bitchin'. Anyway, if you just need a regular Toyota like the kind I drive and the kind that BMAT drives, you can go over there for that too. LynchToyotaofAuburn.com on the internet. Also, our subscribers at auburnsports.com. We could not do this without you. Thank you guys for being a part of what we do, and God bless you guys for doing that, because we would not be able to do this show or these careers or answer questions on the podcast or answer questions on the board or anything else if it weren't for you guys. So thank you very much. If you're not a subscriber, now is the time. We've got some information up on the front page. If you get a new annual subscription, you get 25% off plus a $75 voucher for Adidas swag. Get some clothes from Adidas.com or at an Adidas outlet store, which I'm told exists, though I've not seen one myself. Check out for details on the front page. And remember, the promo code is Adidas 1D. Well, 2 Ds. ADIDAS. They're separated, though. All right, we're going to wrap it up there, B-Matt. We will see you guys a little bit later in the week. Listen, if you guys are out there working today, I want you guys to bear down and have a great day at work, because you should be awesome at what you do. You're an Auburn person. You're better than those flunkies around you. So go out there and dominate the way that you should. Till we see you again, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
Oh, yeah. B-Matt makes it through a podcast without his internet going out.
I know that it was 2 in a row that you had crashed at like 28 minutes.
I know. I was so pissed.
And I had to do, oh, yeah. And nobody knew it was fake. That was sad. I knew it wasn't authentic. 33 minutes, B-Matt. How about that? That's crazy.
Not bad.
Well, hopefully we were on the internet. If we weren't.
Vaughn confirmed with the text that we were. So,
we were.
Hey. Yep.
That's what I'm talking about. That's a win right there, buddy. I'm like Steve Ballmer when he's like
1-0. 1-0.
Oh yeah. That feels
pretty
good.
Big win, Gregory.
Well, thank you for watching, Yvonne. I know you're not still watching, but we love you. Brian loves you the most, but. And I thought about that the other day when somebody on the bunker was asking about, oh boy, I'm supposed to do a radio show in Birmingham going on with whoever that is. Is it Ryan Brown and Jim, I think?
That sounds right.
Anyway, somebody was on the bunker ragging on guys who let their girls drive, which I think is BS because my wife drives a fair amount, like when I'm with her. And I noticed that Yvonne was driving you the other day.
Yeah, it was her car. She usually drives it. I drive mine. I mean, it's pretty simple to me, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've had people mention that to me before, like, "Why Courtney drives you around a lot?" I'm like, yeah. I mean, what? I never even thought that was a thing.
It's only on the bunker are these things.
Yeah, okay. No, I was asked that like in real life too. They were pretending not to judge, but they were judging. I mean, dude, if you're drinking, why would I drive? Let her drive.
Well, Yvonne made some fall off the bone good ribs last night that we destroyed. The kind of ribs where all the stuff on the plate is a few measly bones and that's it. Like everything else is gone.
Let me ask you this: when does your oldest daughter, go to Montevallo?
Friday. We're going Friday.
Okay, it's gonna be tough, isn't it?
Yes.
So I mean, it's gonna be you, Yvonne, Biscuit, and one child left, right?
Yep.
It's gonna be tough. Thoughts are with you, B Matt. If anything's going on Friday, we got you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
You need to have plenty of time for that. It's a big day. All right, we'll wrap it up there, bud.
Sounds good.
I'll get a mailbag out later this afternoon. I've already about 3/4 of the way through it, and there were so many questions in the mailbag. But I know you're Gucci with the Monday musings.
Yeah, I'll probably do basketball. If I don't do it later today, I'll do it tomorrow.
All right, cool.
Peace.
All right, y'all be good.
All right, later, bud.
See you.